Hello. The sun has come out to bless me a little bit, and the sun realized what we're talking about, and the sun said, okay, I'm going to come out and help you out. I'm going to bless you with my gorgeousness. Thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you for coming back on and joining me. I appreciate it. Hello, everyone. How are you all feeling right now? Everybody feeling okay? Whew. Breathe. We all need to take an exhale. Hello. Hi. Hi, Anika. Hi, Deja. Marenike. Alwyn. Daisy. Afian. I love Afian. How are you all doing? Kamal. How are you all doing? Look at Kai Kai. How are you doing? Let's breathe. How are you doing, Sharsana? How are you? Deep breath. Are you all okay? How are you all feeling right now? Hi. That was a heavy part one. Definitely very heavy part one for me. Yeah. I think that's a beautiful point. Being a therapist, we don't sit on a pedestal. We are the reason why we are in a position to be able to offer assistance and help and support. It's because we have to find a way to connect to what you are experiencing. It's not only me reading the DSM-5. It's not only me going through training. It's not only me practicing my training. It's not only me going through all of that. I have to go through the feelings that a lot of us go through. I also require therapy. I am not better. I am not stronger. I am not in a way more put together, more with it. I am not. But what I am is I am aware of my deficiencies. And I am very much able and willing to address them. And the vulnerability that comes with it has not been easy. And the vulnerability that comes from it is one in which I've had to acclimatize to. Because being that strong black man, strong African man, because I believe that comes with his own different level of strength or perceived strength. I've had to deal with that myself. I've had to say, okay, do you want to get better or you don't? Do you want to sit with these feelings and just go through your life going through it, or you don't? And I came to a point in my life when I'm like, okay, I don't. So thank you guys. Sharif, welcome. Happy birthday again, my brother. I want to once again talk today and continue from part one. So this is part two of Collective Trauma, the therapy hour. Thank you guys for sticking around and joining me. I appreciate it. Saturday, it's lovely, it's sunny. I definitely appreciate you guys being here. So I'm going to cover where I ended the last therapy hour, which is how do we start healing from the ongoing experience of collective racial trauma? And the first step is affirmation. The first step is looking at who we are and affirming our right to be here. Affirming our right to be seen and heard. Humanizing ourselves. And it may seem strange to the untrained ear and eye. And when I say untrained, I mean unlived in eyes and ears. If you haven't lived in a certain experience, it may be difficult for you to understand it. I totally get it. My job is to get it. But my job is also to listen to the people that have lived in it in order for me to try and understand what their experience and where their experience has led them to. So we need to affirm ourselves. I am going through collective trauma. I need to affirm myself against the images I see, against the systematic. And the systematic elements of it means that I'm not pointing a finger at one person, which makes it even more difficult. If it was one person I was fighting, I'd be like, all right, I stand a fair chance like anybody else, right? But it is the unspoken, unseen elements of it that it seems to be ongoing and has been normalized. And you may be painted as paranoid for pointing it out, for acknowledging it, for speaking it to power. So the first thing we need to do is affirm ourselves. Who are you? What's your name? Your history, your worth, your value, the way you're loved, how important you are to the people around you, how important you are to humanity, how necessary you are. And when I see my clients, and when I see them, when I see them for everything I've just described, it has the effect of emboldening that sense of identity, that sense of worth. And that's what I want you all to do for yourself. That's what I want you, when you see events, either directly, once you've gone through that, I need you to take a moment to just sit quietly in a space you feel safe in and just start the healing process of affirming, who am I? What's my name? Where am I from? Who loves me? Who values me? I value me. The person they see is not me. The person they see is not me. I am, insert a name here. I am, insert age here. I am, insert value and love and heritage here. I am all these things. A caricature, I am not. A label, I am not. So individualize yourself so you feel connected to yourself again. You start seeing that value within yourself. And that is what I work with clients on a daily basis. Is I first hear their truth. I hear their pain, as we've done in the first half of these sessions. I hear their pain, what they're going through. Their words are given worth and power. And in that moment, clients start feeling, all right, I've got an ally here. He's not telling me I'm chatting rubbish. He's not telling me to get over it. Because in therapy, that get over it statement is the opposite of therapy. It does more harm than good. Before we can get over something, we need to go through it, explore it, and understand it. Because if we don't understand it, the next time it happens, we're not going to know what happened to us again. And the next time it happens, we're not going to know what happened to us again. And it goes on, and we start normalizing it, and we start looking at the event, not as an event that is traumatizing us, but we start looking at it as Monday, or Tuesday, or last week Wednesday, or yeah, I remember that. We start normalizing it. And we start normalizing the assault on our senses. We start normalizing the way we are seen. Think about it for a second. Describe how you see a group of young black boys. Describe that. Sometimes there's that herd mentality, right? Or sometimes you feel that they're posturing. Why are you posturing? That is one of the strategies that is used to protect yourself. I'm going to act like I'm expected to act by people that see me a certain way. So what does that mean? You start internalizing yourself as the way you are seen. You go out to the world, you start acting a certain way. When you are home, you do not. Because the way you're seen at home is different. The way you're seen at home is you are seen. A woman over there wiped your bum when you were a baby. She breastfed you. That guy over there cut your hair as a little boy. Taught you how to sound out your words. Pulled his hair out trying to teach you maths. Comforted you when you had those dreams. Took you to your football matches or your dance match, your dance class and everything in between. You were humanized, you were seen. But when you're out in the world, you are not. When you're out in the world, you're a threat. When you apply for a job, I must talk a certain way in order for me to be seen as intelligent. There's a Pulitzer Prize winning poet that if you think about it, you'll be like, Pulitzer Prize? Oh, what does it look like? Well, it looks like a man called Kendrick Lamar. But when we're talking, we sometimes are asked to tone down the uniqueness and the beauty and the strength that makes us us. So I've got friends that are actors and I've had clients that are actors. And the longer you stay in a role, the more difficult it is for your mental health. So if you leave your house and you stay in that role outside for so long, it affects your mental health. So the post-traumatic element of this cannot be minimized. We are all going through that collective trauma. You're carrying that with you. All right? I see someone wanted to jump on, so I'm going to try and see if they're still there for them to jump on. Yeah. So if you still wanted to jump on, just send me that request again, and I'll be able to press the button to bring you on. So affirmation is the first thing we need to look at. And within that is a positive cultural identity view. What that means is you're surrounded by negativity. You're surrounded by negative views of you. You need to challenge that with an alternative and more realistic view of yourself by you. So for the brothers that are here right now, if you feel you've been seen as a thug, as a brute, as dangerous, violent, or as once described, super predator, if you viewed like that, it is very important, and I cannot stress this enough, for you to challenge that narrative. For you to challenge that narrative of you being a predator, an abuser, a violent person, can't be trusted, a thief, a thug. Insert any racist ideology here. It's very important for the therapy to work, for it to be challenged by positive affirmation. Not just general positive affirmation like, you are good, you're a strong black man, you can do all of that. Personalize it. What is your name? How do you feel when it rains? What's your favorite smell? What's your favorite thing to touch? How do you make other people feel when they're around you? Describe how loving you are, how soft you are, how strong you are in your softness. Personalize those things. Just perfectly said, challenge that narrative. Just challenge it. And you have to consciously do it. For you, in the beginning, it has to be a conscious endeavor. which means the world sees me as a thug. My mom sees me as her favorite child. I said it because I feel it. And I said it just to annoy my siblings as well. So forgive me. My friends see me, depends, some of them see me as wise, others see me as militant. Because my views are out there. My clients see me as a trusted ally in getting them to a place in which they can feel supported and healed. How do you see yourself? Challenge that narrative with an alternative and more factual based view. So how do you guys see yourself within yourself? I'm very interested to hear you. Very interested to hear you. Describe yourself. Now this is a positive affirmation and it's personal, which means it's about you, not the general collective us. But you need to personalize it right now. What are we? Beautiful. We are flexible. We are subtle, loud, loving, supportive, proud, wise, forgiving, intelligent, smart. They're two different things. Beautiful, sexy, cute. Powerful, nuanced, visionaries, trendsetters, maligned. Seems to be a very common feeling of maligned. We are sometimes feel pushed down, pushed back. And to the black women amongst you, that the world may see as angry, harsh, hard, inflexible, bitter. Someone's described to me in sessions that they feel ugly, that the world sees them that way. And it's very important to challenge that narrative. It's very important to offer resistance to that view by personalizing that way you feel within yourself. I mentioned this a little earlier. One of the things I work on is the work in alliance with a client. Building that relationship in which I can start practicing the next point I want to make. By working to understand that client, by understanding their culture, their history, what is important to them, why it's very important to them to respect their elders, why it's very important to them to look a certain way, to do their hair a certain way, why music is very important, sound, outfits and smells and all of that incorporated within it. Proverbs, like I mentioned last week, very important. And it's understanding that and connecting to that. And that's my job as a therapist, to be able to engage and connect with my clients on so many levels. And after doing that and establishing that, what is very important in this work now is what I term empathic therapy. It means and it makes it easier for me to do this if someone that looks like me sat across from me. Empathic therapy is about immersing yourself within that client. So you can taste almost what they ate. So you can feel what they felt. So that way you can hear their voice when they're speaking and you can connect to that feeling. And that is part of a therapist's job as well, to ensure that their client feels heard and listened to. So right now I am listening, I am hearing, I am connecting to that collectivity that's going on here right now. And hopefully, by continuing the affirmation, the positivity, the cultural positive view, by challenging the narrative of the external view of yourself, by personalizing that, by working with someone that sees you, gets you, understands you, and helps you validate that truth. That's the way of dealing with that therapy. Now, when you start understanding that this has got nothing to do with what I have done. The same way if a child is abused, it is not that child's fault for the depravity of the abuser. It's not a child's fault for the sickness of the abuser. And it's not the child's fault that this person, this external being, has forced their view on them. It's not the person that has been raped's fault that they've experienced this from someone that cannot control their depravity. The way they look, dress, sound did not warrant or deserve this treatment from the abuser, from the rapist. The same way racism is not your fault. Racism and the behavior and the treatment and the effects of it is not your burden to carry because you did not create it, but you've been receiving it. And that is very important to understand healing from all of this. This is affecting me, but this person is the one with the problem. And working with trauma is identifying that. Is exploring, funneling questions into where the event has started. And has been stated earlier, the ongoing experience of it means you've got different examples. And the uniqueness of this collective trauma is the person didn't have to have killed your uncle, your brother, or you for you to feel it. You've internalized that event. So DSM-5 stating is something that you have to experience directly. It has to be interpersonal. Missing a trick there. Because what's so important is that when we see that video, when I saw that video, I felt attacked. I felt abused. I felt assaulted. And I felt helpless. And I replayed it in my mind. What could I have done in that situation to preserve my life? Because humans, we do whatever we need to do to preserve our life. Our brain is wired that way. And I felt helpless. And I felt hurt. And I got teary-eyed because I was living in that moment, in that experience. And the tiredness that you guys have expressed is the ongoing aspects of it. It didn't happen once. I'm getting abused over and over again. I'm getting raped over and over again. And I use those words deliberately. Because as you're going through it, as you're feeling it, you are getting assaulted over and over again. That could be me. What separates that being me? My name? Because I'm not Mr. Floyd? No. Because he was dehumanized, which meant based solely on the way he looked, it was okay in the police officer's views to treat him that way. So for me, that doesn't separate him to me. That doesn't separate him to some of you, to any of you, which makes it personal, which makes it feel like I am being attacked. It happened to me. It happened to my loved one. It is personal. It warrants a post-traumatic stress disorder diagnosis based on if we find it overwhelming enough that it affects the way we deal with things, that is the effect of trauma, of a traumatic event. And that was a traumatic event that we have personalized, which means it's happened to us. If you're wondering why am I feeling this way, what you're experiencing is the effects of you experiencing trauma. And the reason why your friends that may look like you or sound like you understand without speaking to you how you feel is because this is collective trauma. And going through the work and going through the stages of dealing with that, we can now start identifying within the client a sense of worth and identity. Because that identity is now not, I am a black person that deserves to be beaten, or I am a black person, which means I will be attacked. We start identifying within our personal selves. We now start building up that individuality, that independence. We will start now building up that sense of self and self-worth, that we are not a caricature that can be described as IC4? Or described as black male, black female, or whatever label. Say your name. Say who you are, your middle name. Ask your mom, how much did I weigh when I was born? Did I have the cone head when I was born? Personalize your story. Reclaim your story. I am not that one-dimensional. 3D yourself. Say who you are, connect to that inner self, and that feeling will slowly but surely start going away. We've spoken about how we feel, the anger, the hopelessness, the relentlessness of this whole situation and the way it's affecting us. It's affecting your mood. It took me a while to sleep that night because I kept thinking about it and I just felt so enraged about it and hopeless, and I thought about his children seeing that image of their father getting slaughtered like that, and it just hurt my soul. Take a moment to allow yourself to express those things rather than bottle it up and push it away as, these people are. What are your feelings? Describe that, connect to that. Let it breathe. Let it come through your pores so it's answered. It's not tumored within you, waiting for a day to grow. Let it come. And from there, we will start healing together. We will start healing that pain within us that's getting us to be so angry and so upset and so sad and feeling that What's the point? Nothing is going to change. That's hopelessness. We need to let it out and let it breathe and express it. If you can't speak to a therapist, because not everyone can afford to speak to a therapist, speak to someone you trust. And if someone has entrusted you with their truth and their voice, if someone has entrusted you with that, please listen. Please be that soundboard to listen. You don't even have to say a word. Just listen to the truth that somebody has entrusted you with hearing. And by working on affirmation, working on exploring and understanding the origin of these feelings, the origin of the events that's happened to you, by understanding that you are not to blame for this, by grasping that and fully, not only understanding it on this level, but understanding, let it seep through you, then we will start on top of that, looking within ourselves on, this is who I actually am. I'm not this. I'm not this victim. I am someone that survived this and is going to thrive through this. And feel emboldened and feel powerful as the spirit that you truly are. And connect to that inner self. Listen to yourself, your own voice. And actually ask yourself, who am I? Know what your job is. When I think about myself, I don't think about being a psychotherapist. Because I personalize it to who I am as a human being. Why do I like this color over this color? Why do I like this music over this? Why do I like a shade over another? What makes me laugh? What kind of sense of humor do I have? How do I impact people around me? When I'm sad, why am I sad? What makes me sad? Little things like that will humanize you again. And will revitalize you and your spirit, and you connect to that. And slowly but surely, we start pushing away the label, the caricature, the narrative that has been bestowed upon you by others, and you reclaim the narrative, reclaim yourself. I'm going to leave it here for today. I want to say thank you for everyone that's joined me. I want to say thank you for everyone that's left a comment. I want to say thank you for every single person that has allowed me to express myself, but have also allowed and entrusted me with their truth and their voices. I look forward to reading your messages afterwards. I look forward to hearing from you directly afterwards. I look forward to taking a moment with you collectively as we go through this week, as we go through this month, as we go through our life. So if we end today, please let's end it with some affirmation. Who am I? I am Nathaniel. I am the son of a great man and a great woman. I'm the middle child. I'm a little bit cheeky. I can be very serious. I can be very jovial. And I love my family. And I love the complexity of people. So if you want to join me, let's do a little bit of joint affirmation here. Who are you? Hello, Joy. I see you. Thank you for joining my space as well. Thank you. Let's finish it off with an affirmation of who we are. The daughter of survivors. Powerful. Who are you? Personalize you. Not the character, not the caricature. I am teddy bear. Perfect. Because that to me looks like softness, powerful, big, but also gentle and comfortable in the gentleness. Yes. You are not that caricature. You are not a super predator. You are not a threat. Not in that way. You're just a threat to others' sensibilities. So who are we? Name and describe your feelings right now before we end the session. So we can just sit with it before we end the sessions to just take everything we've learned in. I am raised from a long line of rebel girls and women. Powerful. I'm Khadija, daughter of queens and founding fathers of Sierra Leone, the diamond of West Africa. Say it with your chest. Be proud of it. I'm Charlotte, the person who believes in the healing power of love and compassion. I am with you, Charlotte. I am with you. Say who you are, identify yourself, not only to the world, but to yourself. So when you walk, that sense of identity will be seen and felt by others around you. They may not be able to put a finger on it, but they would know you know who you are. They will know your power just by the way you have recognized and you've reclaimed your sense of identity and self. Say who you are. Claim it. And continue to claim it. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you, all of us, collective all of us, for partaking in this. Some of you would not know each other, but without you realizing it, you've shown yourself to be the light to somebody else's life by merely being present here and expressing and sharing your vulnerabilities, your strengths. You're showing to others that it's okay to also show their softness and their vulnerabilities. So thank you. I appreciate all of you. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Okay? Take care of yourselves. Take care of your mentals, as I like to describe it. Take care of people around you if you can. And just affirm who you are, where you're from, where you feel connected to. Provide a 3D view of yourself. Do not succumb to the 2D view that others are looking and seeing you as. Please do not succumb to seeing yourself the way others see you. I thank you, deeply thank you. I look forward to seeing all of you. I look forward to seeing your smiles, your comments, reading your feedback. Share today's session as wide as you can for those that may get benefit from this. Take care. Love.